Hello guys, it's JayFerGaming here. Welcome to this video. It's more of a discussion and a review of the actual real life race which has just happened today. The first race of the F1 2014 season in Australia, which was pretty good overall. So this is a new series. I'm just going to review every race and tell me what you think of the races, these videos. I'd love to hear from you and I'll comment back. So first of all, the new cars. The new formula that is Formula 1. It's strange to say the least. The cars, most of them look absolutely horrible. Today in the race I saw Ferrari side by side with a Toro Rosso. Looked terrible. In my opinion, and as a Ferrari fan, the Ferrari is the worst looking car. It looks like a Hoover. It's just horrible. And the male appendages on the front of the cars, they just look so bad. And the sound at the start of the race, you wouldn't have thought it was the start of the race. You could hear the commentators so clearly in the cars. Not the biggest fan of that. So getting to the race, obviously the Mercedes were first and second. Hamilton didn't get the best of starts. Rosberg got a really good start, so did Ricciardo, so they were up to first and second. Hamilton obviously had a problem which obviously hindered him from the start, so you would have thought he'd have probably got away, because he did get a good getaway initially. Magnussen, I think it just proves from the cars that they're going to get a load of wheel spin at the start, because he nearly lost control after a few seconds and crashed into Alonso, but he did really well to keep that. And obviously there was one crazy guy, Kamui Kobayashi. At first it looked like he was back to his old ways, just crashing into other cars, but apparently it wasn't his fault. There was a problem with the powertrain, or whatever it's called, which affected the rear brake, so he took out Massa, and luckily, I do quite like Massa, ex-Ferrari driver, so he was really unlucky. I think he would have got good points today. So Hamilton obviously retired after a few laps, after getting overtaken by a few cars. Vettel as well. World champion, first time that he's been beaten in 231 days, I think it was. It just wasn't a good weekend whatsoever for him, which is a good thing, to be honest. That's what the fans wanted, and the change in rules were probably aimed to stop Red Bull and Vettel in a way. Moving on to later on in the race, Rosberg just far too quick, pulling away from everyone. The Mercedes are by far the quickest team, and they seem pretty reliable apart from the Hamilton thing obviously. And then behind them, Ricciardo did a good job. What else happened? Bottas, he caused the safety car after he was chasing after Alonso. He obviously was pushing really hard and must have gone the dirty air, bit of oversteer, crashed into the wall a little bit, which gave him a puncture, which laid debris on the track, brought out the safety car. And that was really lucky for Jenson Button, because I think it came out he was just about to pass the pit lane, but he slowly turned in, or quickly turned in even, and that in the end gained him 3 or 4 positions, so that was really lucky. He seems to get so much luck around Australia. I know he's really good around there, but still he definitely gets a lot of luck. So at the race, it wasn't really exciting, it was just interesting to see what would happen, because after about 5 laps I was thinking, what the hell is this? What is F1? Because it looked like carnage at the start, and like in every braking point I expected someone to smash into someone else for some reason. I don't know. I just really didn't enjoy the first 5 laps whatsoever, but as the race progressed I slowly got around the sounds and the looks of the cars. I'm not going to get over that for a long time, but it started to improve. The racing was pretty decent. There was good overtakes, especially from Bottas when he was fighting through the field. He went round the outside of a couple of cars, I remember. There was mainly DRS overtakes, so DRS seems to be quite strong again, as the wing has been opened out by about, I think it was about 15mm, something tiny like that, but it'll increase the overtaking power. What else? Tyres. That's another thing. I barely even noticed the tyres during the race. I suppose I'm surprised they didn't go for the super soft. I suppose it didn't last too long last year. It was about 5-6 laps. But yeah, I didn't really notice the tyres whatsoever. Just mainly concentrating on the cars and what's going to happen. I can barely remember the tyres being mentioned in commentary either, which is really surprising. But they did hold on really well. I'm not sure what the construction is this year, if they're similar to the ones from last season, but there weren't as many marbles on the track. I suppose there were a few less cars than last season. So looking at the results, obviously Rosberg won by a country mile, 26 seconds ahead. And big news, Ricciardo, if you hadn't heard, got disqualified. It was to do with fuel. Too much fuel was going to the powertrain. I can't remember, it's something like that, but it's Red Bull have appealed it. So I've just heard about it, so I didn't prepare that for this video, but that's really unlucky. I actually really like Daniel Ricciardo now. I didn't like Red Bull last season, even with Mark Webber. But Ricciardo is a cool guy, and that's really unlucky. At least he got on the podium, I guess, but he's not keeping the points or the trophy, which is a shame. Which means Kevin Magnussen on his debut finished second, which is amazing. Apart from the start where he nearly lost control straight away, he had a great race. Kept up with Ricciardo in the McLaren, which is looking like a pretty good car. So I'm really impressed by him. He's already done better than his dad did, Jan. So well done to him, and his teammate was only about 4 seconds behind him. So Button third was helped a lot by the safety car, as I've mentioned already, but he's really good around this track. He was always going to be high in the order, even though he didn't qualify too well, but he's made his way through the field. My man Alonso, that sounds slightly gay, but my favourite driver, finished 4th. It wasn't a great drive, it was okay. He didn't really do anything spectacular. Obviously, and he was complaining about the car a little bit after the race, which is not good to hear. But 35 seconds off Rosberg, that's not a good sign. Bottas, a great recovery for 5th. I'm pretty sure he would have been on the podium. The Williams is looking really good. Hülkenberg, solid drive. He should be in a bigger team. Raikkonen, 7th. He made quite a few mistakes today. It's really surprising. I don't think I've seen him make as many mistakes like that for a long time. Locking up a number of times, getting overtaken. The car mustn't be suiting him at the moment. And then rounding out the top 10, Verne, Kvyat, solid drives. A 19-year-old getting points, that's impressive. And Perez in the points, he got 1 point. And then Sutil, Gutierrez. Them three I didn't even see in the race at all. I think Gutierrez and Perez crashed on the first lap. On the results that I'm looking at now, it says Perez and Sutil finished on exactly the same race time, so I doubt that happened. But yeah, I didn't even see them in the race. And Max Chilton 13th, it's expected, finished last, get lap, but finished the race. So that 13th place could be very useful for Marussia, though I do expect them to get points this season. Then a load of cars retired. The Lotus is struggling so badly. Vettel obviously, Kobayashi crashing into Massa. So, I'm going to say what I think is the order at the moment. There's 4 tiers in my opinion. First would be Mercedes, who are miles ahead of the others. Second tier, Williams, McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull. Yeah. And then in the third tier would be Force India, Toro Rosso, Sauber, and Lotus, and at the back is Caterham and Marussia. Sadly, I don't think they've gained enough. So that's my opinion. Tell me what your tier system would be. It would be really interesting to hear. And looking to Malaysia, it's going to be really good. Can't believe it's been a year since Multi 21. It's gone so quickly, and it's going to be so unpredictable. I think there's going to be cars everywhere, the weather as well, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hope you enjoyed this. It's a short review. I don't want to bore you with 20 minutes of me talking. 10 minutes, my opinion. Leave your opinion in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.